Well, good morning, guys. Old guy on the run here. It's time for an air video. Got my good old coffee. You know, I drink 1 cup in the morning because my doctor has me on blood pressure medicine, which I've heard a lot of bad things about. Uh, as far as being in your 60s, what is your status? If you're in your 60s, or even if you're not, that's fine. Um, but medically, how are you? Um, I feel like I'm basically in okay health wise, I guess. Um, Recently, I did have issues with my blood pressure being high, and I think that's just a normal thing, an older age that you have to deal with. But I've heard a lot of good and bad things about these blood pressure medications that they put you on, which I'm trying them to see what happens. My blood pressure seems to have been, lowered some, but I'm also doing some beetroot stuff. Supposed to be really good for, uh, you know, relaxing your blood vessels so that your blood flows, more smoothly. I don't know. You try all this stuff. What really works? What works for you guys? Anybody out there that watches my videos? I don't know even who watches my videos, but yeah, are you guys taking anything? What do you think works good? Let me know in the comments, because I think a lot of people would be interested to know, what works good for regulating your blood pressure. Of course, they say walking, drinking lots of water, which I've been trying to do, obviously, but I walk a lot from when I'm working, but like doing deliveries and stuff, but um, maybe I could do some more morning walking or something, something like that to help. I can just got too super busy with my son, trying to keep him going the right way, and he's dealing with a lot as teenagers do. You know, and I know there's a lot of teenagers out there, and I want you guys to feel free to talk to your parents or anybody, a sister that you or a brother that you're close with, or anybody. If you're dealing with, things in life that might be getting you down, don't let it get you down. All right? Nobody's better than anybody. I know a lot of you kids, and a lot of kids, teenagers especially, deal with, the bullying in school and not feeling like they're popular, I guess. Because kids can be cruel. I mean, life can be cruel. Let's face the facts. If you don't really fall in the line of somebody that, people find, whether it's attractive or whatever, you don't get the attention as much as other people do. And sometimes they can get you down, but don't let it get you down. Everybody's worth something in this life, okay? I went through bullying in school when I was in school. I was not popular in school. I think this is what I'm going to make the biggest, not so much the health and the medical stuff, the biggest part of my videos today is not letting people maybe not thinking you're good looking or whatever, and you seem like you can't get a girlfriend or boyfriend or something like that, and you see all the other people doing it, your friends or whatever, and you feel like, you're not good enough. Don't ever feel that way. Everybody's good enough. Eventually, that one person is going to come along that you have a connection with that's going to make you feel good about yourself, all right? It might not be why you're in school. That's why I tell my son all the time that it might not even happen while you're in school. I'd say probably 95% of school relationships never go anywhere after school. Generally it's just a school thing. Lots of times once you get out of school and guys both get your other things going in life, you tend to move away from each other lots of times. I know my daughter's a perfect example of that. She's 27 now. She dated the same boy ever since middle school and all through high school. And, they worked great in school. All right. Was he perfect? No. Is she perfect? No. I mean, who is? Nobody's perfect. They just realized about a year after they got out of school that, it just wasn't working, So most of the time, 90%, 95% of the time, I'd say school relationships don't work. And that's why I told my son. I said, you're going into 10th grade. You got 3 years left. Don't let it get you down. You're a good-looking kid. You got a great personality. You got a lot to offer somebody. You'll find somebody. And the same goes for everybody else out there, too. If any of you teenagers are, for some reason, watching my videos, which, I highly doubt you're interested in an old guy on the run, but if you are watching my video and you're watching this one's going to be about ignore bullying, because my son's dealt with it. I've dealt with it through school. My whole, school life I did. I wasn't popular by any means. I was one of those people, I just didn't let it bother me, though, so I don't know why. Maybe I don't know, maybe it was something that was instilled in me by my parents or something, but I really just didn't let it bother me. Yeah, sometimes it got to me a little bit at school, but, But then there was going home time. I just focused on getting the day over with, doing the best I could in my classes, which, I was never great in school. I didn't really care for school. I didn't like it. My grades were, they were okay. They were passable. I was never going to be an A student. There's no way I was going to be an A student because I just didn't like school enough. And my son's kind of the same way. I had to constantly push him. And then I try to remember how I was in school, too. And I don't want to push him too hard, I try to give him incentives to do better in school and teach him, to just do your best that you can. But you got to put some effort in because you can't be failing. Because if you're failing, they're going to make you repeat. And you don't want to do that. You want to focus, pass your classes, do good, learn a trade, because he's not next year, but the year after, he'll be in 11th grade. He can go to a vocational school, which is a place where they can teach you a skill or a job skill, and he can learn to do something that he could do for a living. So that's my ultimate goal the next 3 years. I got to try to survive somehow, and I don't make a lot of money. I'm on a fixed income. I don't really get any help from it, too much, but I do have people that do help with him, obviously, and then I had my sister help with my daughter, but so I do get some help, but not like what most people get, okay? Like nobody helps pay my bills or anything like that, and that's the hardest part, and you just gotta keep moving forward, And anyways, get back to the bullying. Just ignore kids, I told them if you ignore them, just hang around the kids that, actually care about you and the kids that, you get along with and everything, that you'll be much better off. And just ignore what all these other kids say, because most likely once they get out of school and everything, their life ain't going to be great, all right? Just because they're popular in school doesn't mean they're going to be great outside of school. I've seen so many, even from my school, people I've seen from when I went to school, guys that were jocks and everything, or super popular, didn't add up to anything in real life. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but sometimes that's all I got. This is the sports and the popularity at school, and then they get out of school and it's a totally different thing. So, just be happy with who you are, all right? Everybody deserves to be happy, all right? You shouldn't ever make fun or pick on anybody, because you wouldn't like it if they did that to you. Now, lots of times you gotta remember too, bullies are going through something themselves, and they just take it on other kids. You gotta remember that sometimes. Maybe try to find out their story, see if something's wrong. You know, I mean, I'm not saying getting involved in their thing, but just try to ignore them. You know, they're just lashing out, and sometimes, you know, obviously it's just they're being plain mean. You know, because they think they're better than everybody else, but that comes from their parents and their teaching. You know, a kid should never think that way. A kid should always respect every kid, and that's why I try to teach my son to be respectful. Try to, you know, treat every kid with decent. Never think you're better than anybody, because that kind of stuff is not going to get you anywhere at all. All right. So I kind of went from, you know, the medical thing, because I just like to touch on that briefly. I just wanted to know what other people take for blood pressure. And then went into the bullying, because I know my son's been dealing with that last couple of years. Not so much this year as he did last year, because I think I kind of convinced them to just ignore it. You know, if you ignore them, eventually they'll get bored and move on to something else. So, you know, that's the best way to deal with it. And don't ever let anybody make you feel bad about yourself. God loves everybody, loves every person in the world. I'm not just talking in the United States or anything. He loves everybody in the world. He created the whole world. He loves everybody. And everybody's got something special about themselves. And everybody deserves to be happy. So remember that. And if you guys ever got anything that you need to talk about, go to your parents or go to your friends that are, you know, your trusted friends that you love and that love you, and talk to them about it. Or a sister or a brother or aunt and uncle, anybody you trust to talk to about. Your parents are always there for you, you know. A lot of times kids, you know, teenagers don't like to talk to their parents, but find somebody that you can talk to. It's not worth anything letting it, you know, build up to where you go into depression, because nobody is better than anybody. Remember that. Nobody. You're worth something. All right? If you got some kind of depression going on, get some counseling, get some help. Talk to somebody. That's the biggest form of healing that there can be. And remember that. Okay? I want you, if there's teenagers watching this video, please talk to somebody, or even adults, because adults go through depression too, just as much. When you get in the working world, you know, it's the same thing. Dog eat dog, you know, and people thinking they're better than people, you know. I mean, this is the way this world is, and it's sad and unfortunate. But remember, always find somebody that you can trust to talk to. It's always worth talking about. Somebody's there to help you. Somebody. Whether it's your parents, a family member, a friend, even go to a counseling place, because they're good at listening and helping. So, all right? Well, that's the end of this video, guys. Hopefully you'll get some beneficial information out of this. Comment below if you something you want to talk about. I'll try to help you with it if I can. You know, I'm not no expert, but I'll do my best to help you. So comment below if you need some kind of advice, and I'll try to give you the best advice I can. All right? But I appreciate it if you guys would subscribe. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. I'm not a professional or anything. I'm trying to make more interesting videos if I can. I'm getting a little better at it here and there, but, you know, I'm not perfect. So, but I appreciate it. Please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Like the video, subscribe to it, tell your friends to subscribe to it and watch the video. And once again, if you need any kind of advice, just please comment below, and I will do my best to help you. All right, this is Old Guy on the Run, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.